Well, if you're just waking up with us this morning, we have learned that former Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick is being released from prison. His 28-year sentence commuted by President Donald Trump. And good Wednesday morning to you. Thank you for waking up with us. It happened late last night.
Yes, this is a huge development. After 7 years behind bars, plans are being made right now for Kwame Kilpatrick's release from prison. Nick Monticelli has been following this story from overnight, Nick, and we know that it is a commutation, which there is a difference between that and being pardoned.
A huge difference. With a pardon, it wipes out the entire existence of the conviction. The commutation, not so much. Now, we've been on a roller coaster with Kwame Kilpatrick when he is going to be released, if he's going to be released. Would COVID-19 force his release? This time, it's actually happening. The White House putting out the advisory overnight, and he is one of several on that list.
I knew that this was coming, and the last conversation that we had is that he told me that it was on his desk to be signed.
State Representative Karen Whitsett says she's known for days former Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick would be set free because President Trump told her so. She says she had a recent conversation with the president, and it did not take much convincing.
The former mayor had an unjust sentence, and that he served enough time, and that I'm happy for his family that he has gotten out, and that he's able to spend time with his family now, which is where he should be.
Whitsett is one of many who worked to free Kilpatrick, but there are others not happy about it. When talks of Kilpatrick being released early first surfaced, U.S. Attorney Matt Schneider said, "My position on the disgraced former mayor of Detroit has not changed. Kwame Kilpatrick has earned every day he served in federal prison for the horrible crimes he committed against the people of Detroit. He is a notorious and unrepentant criminal." Kilpatrick has served only 1/4 of the sentence that was very appropriately imposed. The word of President Trump commuting Kilpatrick's sentence came down overnight, but it is far different from a pardon. A pardon wipes out and forgives the crime. A commutation simply reduces the sentence. Kilpatrick will still have to pay the $1 million restitution he owes the city of Detroit. And under a law passed in 2010, Kilpatrick will not be allowed to run for any office until 2033. So back out here live, one of the big questions this morning is when will Kilpatrick be released from that federal prison in Louisiana? We don't know the answer to that just yet. It could be as early as today because there's no appeals, nothing left in the paperwork process because something from the president is final. Where's it going to go? We also don't know. Likely, possibly at least, with his mother in Georgia. We're live this morning. Nick Monticelli, Local 4 News Today.
And of course, we'll continue to follow this for you very closely. A lot of you likely wondering, how did we get to where he is today and the timeline of everything?
Several years in the making. Local 4 defender Karen Drew has a look back at the timeline of Kwame Kilpatrick's rise and fall.
The Kwame Kilpatrick roller coaster ride.
It was a ride with stunning highs and crushing lows. Kwame Kilpatrick's 6.5 years in office ended in disgrace. They began with the exuberance and energy of a young man who believed he was destined to be the mayor.
I officially declare myself as a candidate for the mayor of the city of Detroit.
He launched his bid for mayor on the porch of his mother's home. Kilpatrick's opponent had the Gill Hill Council presidency on his resume, even movie credits. But voters soon found the young candidate had star power too. He grew up with a political pedigree. His mother would become a congresswoman, his father chief of staff to the Wayne County executive. Kwame Kilpatrick graduated from Cass Tech. Kilpatrick had ambition and an uncanny knack at connecting with people. In his 20s, he served in the state house and then became the mayor of Detroit. A few weeks later, the smiles broadened as he began his first term.
That you will perform the duties as the duly elected mayor of the city of Detroit according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
I will. Congratulations.
All right.
He pledged to overhaul the police department, tear down vacant homes, and put spending in line with revenue. He launched an after-school program for kids.
You can be anything you want to be. You can even be mayor.
The story that became his undoing surfaced in 2003. Deputy Chief Gary Brown said the mayor fired him for looking into rumors of a wild party at the Manoogian mansion.
There was no party at the Manoogian.
While that controversy simmered, some questioned what seemed to be the mayor's imperial style. The 13-car motorcade to one speech, the barber's chair near his office, the security detail ordering lunch for him.
No cheese, actually. No cheese, no cheese.
The mayor believed his critics just didn't understand a young man's style.
It's a personality thing. It's a 32-year-old. It's an earring in his ear.
He was known across the nation as the hip-hop mayor, and his political star was rising. In 2004, he addressed the Democratic National Convention.
We stand for a nation that protects jobs with fair trade policies.
But 2005 brought a new controversy. The police department claimed a red Navigator was being used for undercover work. The truth was the pricey SUV had been purchased for Kilpatrick's wife. The mayor's re-election seemed in doubt as Freeman Hendricks challenged him. The mayor battled back. He threw his verbal punch after Hendricks' son had a scrape with the law. No one could have foreseen how ironic that statement would become. On election night, Hendricks appeared to be winning. Kilpatrick again defied the doubters and plunged into his second term. There was much to brag about: a sharp rise in housing, new development downtown, employee concessions to help balance the budget. What's more, the Super Bowl showed Detroit at its best. But the mayor's old ghosts were coming back to haunt him. In September of 2007, he testified in a whistleblower lawsuit brought by Gary Brown and another fired cop. The mayor denied having an affair with his chief of staff, Christine Beatty.
I think it's absurd to assert that every woman that works with a man is a whore.
The jury ruled in favor of the cops. The mayor swore he would appeal. But soon, the lawyer for the whistleblower cops sent to the mayor's lawyer explosive text messages. They showed Kilpatrick and Beatty had perjured themselves. The mayor quickly dropped the appeal and agreed to pay the cops $8.4 million, while hiding the reason for the deal from city council. It looked like the mayor had dodged another bullet. On January 23rd, that illusion was shattered.
Good to have you with us. We start tonight with breaking news as a bombshell rocks the mayor's office tonight.
The Free Press published the damning text messages. The mayor stayed silent for days, retreating to his Florida home. He returned to his Detroit church to issue an apology.
To all of you who've prayed for me, I'm sorry for the embarrassment and the disappointment.
He claimed God wanted him to be the mayor. He accused his enemies, though most were African American, of being racially motivated.
This unethical, illegal, lynch mob mentality has to stop.
But his support quickly eroded in the community and on city council. The Wayne County prosecutor slapped him with 8 felony charges.
Our investigation has clearly shown that public dollars were used, people's lives were ruined.
The mayor plunged into deeper hot water by allegedly pushing a deputy. Then his unauthorized trip to Windsor led to another trip to the county jail. While Kilpatrick was taking his lumps in the criminal cases, he was being battered in the political wars. Former allies said it was time to step down. The mayor thwarted the council's attempt to get rid of him, but not the governor's plan to hold a hearing and possibly remove him. Time was running out.
I lied under oath in the case of Gary Brown and Harold Nerford versus the city of Detroit.
September of 2008, Kilpatrick pleads guilty to 2 counts of obstruction of justice. Under his plea agreement, he's sentenced to 120 days in jail, must resign from office, and he must also pay $1 million in restitution. 2 years later, Judge David Groner rules Kilpatrick violated terms of his probation by failing to report assets and turn over tax refunds. The former mayor is sentenced up to 5 years. Meantime, during that time, the feds were also building their case against Kilpatrick, pulling apart his criminal web piece by piece and charging his friends and acquaintances. Contractor Bobby Ferguson was charged. Childhood friend Derek Miller pled guilty to 2 counts, including accepting bribes and filing a false tax return. He provided information to the feds that helped them strengthen their federal case against Kilpatrick.
Mr. Miller, did you want to make any comments at all? Do you want to say anything?
The former mayor's fortress was crumbling. Those in his inner circle were speaking out and getting deals and lighter sentences. The corruption case against Kilpatrick went on for months in federal court. A jury deliberated his fate for 14 days. Then, March 11th, 2013, Kwame Kilpatrick was convicted on 24 counts, including racketeering, extortion, bribery, wire fraud, and tax evasion. The jury unanimous that he used the mayor's office to enrich himself, forced contractors to pay up if they wanted work in the city, used the Kilpatrick Civic Fund as a personal piggy bank for vacations for him and his girlfriend, that he took bribes and kickbacks in cash, expensive suits and private jet flights, and that he never paid taxes on the extra $840,000 they found in his bank account. He was sentenced to 28 years in prison. The former mayor, now known as prisoner 446-78039. In prison, Kilpatrick would try for an appeal and continue to be denied.
Too much time, there was no crime.
His son Jaleel fought for his father as well. If not an appeal, maybe a pardon?
Vacate the 28.
Detroiters have really moved on. This contingency is pretty small that's asking for Trump to do something special for Kwame Kilpatrick.
Radio host Mildred Gaddis defending the conviction, however, adding the 28 years was too stiff of a sentence. Later that year, Kilpatrick and his wife Carlita divorced.
Kwame Kilpatrick would have been released in January of 2037. He would have been in his 70s. Now Kilpatrick is getting ready to leave prison.